Swamine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. We are going to be reading from the Ramayana, which will be put up now on the screen. Bhagavatam, Ramayana. We are going to just take a little reading from the Bhagavat, and we shall try to elaborate a little bit on that. Text 12 from the 9th canto, 10th chapter. Dhadvatmakritya hata krityam ahan kabandham sakyam vidhaya kapibhir dayita gatim taihi bhudvata valini hate plavengendra sainyer velam agatsa manujo aja bhavarchitangrihi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Lord Ramachandra, whose lotus feet are worshipped by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, had assumed the form of a human being. Thus he performed the funeral ceremony of Jatayu, who was killed by Ravana. The Lord then killed the demon named Kabandha, and after making friends with the monkey chiefs, killing Vali and arranging for the deliverance of Mother Sita, he went to the beach of the ocean. Purport: when Ravana kidnapped Sita, he was obstructed on the way by Jatayu, a large bird. But the powerful Ravana defeated Jatayu in the fight and cut his wing. When Ramachandra was searching for Sita, he found Jatayu almost dead and was informed that Sita had been carried off by Ravana. When Jatayu died, Lord Ramachandra did the duty of a son by performing the funeral ceremony, and then he made friends with the monkeys to deliver Sita Devi. Next. Yadrosha vibhrama vivrita katakshapata sambranta nakramakaro bhayakrirna kosha sindhu sirashi arhanam parigrihya rupi padharavindam upagamya bhabasha etat. Translation: after reaching the beach, Lord Ramachandra fasted for 3 days, awaiting the arrival of the ocean personified. When the ocean did not come, the Lord exhibited his pastimes of anger, and simply by his glancing over the ocean, all the living entities within it, including the crocodiles and sharks, were agitated by fear. And the personified ocean fearfully approached Lord Ramachandra, taking all paraphernalia to worship him. Falling at the Lord's lotus feet, the personified ocean spoke as follows. Om Tat Sat. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sakitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We have been trying to read and reflect on the Ramayana with due consideration for today's situation that we are in. Whole world, like I mentioned, is talking a lot about many different aspects: personal, social, domestic, national, international. All sorts of topics have been spoken about because the whole world is shaken. Not just the world and its economy, but people have been shaken up. Leaders have been shaken up. Leaders are knowing that we can do nothing much. We have limited things that we can do to save the people. And the people are also come to understand that we cannot actually depend on these leaders. They are helpless. And therefore, people have become very introspective. At this time in the pandemic Rama avatar, the pandemic Ramanavami celebrations is coming up within the next few days. And I think the pandemic and the Ramayana can combine together to give us some very powerful lessons about human life, about humanity. Many different leadership lessons and personal lessons and social lessons can be got from the Ramayana. At these situations, when we examine, we can understand how wonderful is the great wealth of the Vedic Shastras, and how wonderful is the plan of the Lord to instruct us through these Shastras. So, Ramayana is a wonderful explanation because it is in the form of a story, and a story very relevant to all of us. Somehow people don't take the pains to understand the story deeply. They superficially understand the story and enjoy the story, which of course is one purpose. The other purpose is also to learn some deep lessons. And I think Ramayana affords that very much. There are a lot of deep lessons that we can learn from the Ramayana. And today, we will try to go into this particular shloka, which we read just now. How the Lord lost lost Sita. And we discussed how that was great pain to him. And although the Lord was externally showing some suffering, internally he was undergoing vipralamba bhava, enjoyment was spoken by Prabhupada yesterday in the purport. And then it is mentioned here in the verse we read that he finished with a demon, Rakshasa, or whatever you want to call him. He was a one-eyed ogre. Kabandha was just one big mass. There was only stomach. He had 2 hands, 2 legs. You can't see a face. He had 1 eye on top of his chest. And the rest was all stomach. Amazing person to look at. He must have been a one-eyed ogre. And so he obviously tried to attack, and then he was killed. But he told them that I am actually cursed. I am a higher being, some Gandharva or demigod like that. And he gave instructions to Rama that you burn my body. And when his body was burned, he turned out to be the person he is. And he thanked Rama for doing this because this was predicted that I will come and in the forest I'll be killed by Rama and my body will be burned and I'll assume a real form. And I will actually give you some vital information. And that vital information he gave was, you're crying out of separation from Sita, but you'll get her back. You must go and forge a friendship with Sugriva, the monkey king, Vanara king, right? And you will be able to, through his friendship, get what is needed. So it's very interesting that at this time only the Lord meets with Sugriva. At that time only first he confronts with Hanuman. There is the first meeting of Hanuman and Lord Ramachandra. So Lakshmana and Ramachandra got great hope that your Sita we will get back, and you should go and forge a friendship with Sugriva. So the Lord left in search of Sugriva, and they'll end up in this wonderful, beautiful hill and valley place where Matanga Rishi's ashram was there earlier. And it is mentioned that Vali, the brother of Sugriva, is cursed not to come there alone. And therefore, Sugriva has taken shelter there. The Monkey King Sugriva has taken shelter. If you know the history a little bit, quickly we will recollect. Vali and Sugriva, brothers, both very powerful. Vali especially was very, very powerful, very strong person. And Maya, Sura, Dundubi, all these great demons he has killed. He is known to be very, very brave, courageous, and of monkey of great strength. So we don't normally hear like these things, you know. I'm sure that as soon as they hear this, they'll connect it up with the Neanderthal man or the Australopithecus man or the something, etc., etc. And they will say, see, it is proof of the fact that man descended from the apes. They will take it in a different direction. But there are all sorts of beings in this universe. Kimpurushas, Kinnaras, Vanaras, Gandharvas, Vidyadharas. Like that, there are various types of personalities. Human beings are one of them. 430,000 species, human beings. So like that, there are many different species. And these were one of them. It is not that man is the only species and he came from the apes. And that's all there is. A very static, very theoretical, mono understanding of human origins. If you read Ramayana, you'll understand there are so many types of beings. And they all came to help Ramachandra. It was full of bears and various types of monkeys, everything who came to help Lord Ramachandra and his big army. So Sugriva was one of the powerful kings of all those monkeys. So whatever the Lord planned in his amazing Lila is unfolding. And the Lord is distressed, searching for Sita, and he gets his hint. And he goes in search of Sugriva. Both Lakshmana and Rama, they look very odd because they are got this kingly Kshatriya royal look. They look very handsome, very well built, very proportionate, highly agile and very athletic and very capable physically. Powerful warriors, Kshatriyas. And at the same time, they were brilliant looking, the tejas spread around them. But the amazing thing is, they were not wearing any kingly royal clothes and dress. They were in bark, clothed in bark, and they had matted hair tied up with a jada mudi tied up on the top. And added to that, they look like with the jadamudi and the bark, they look like hermits in the forest, like sages and everybody. But then they had bow and arrows and quiver. A very odd combination of being royal and very greatly Kshatriya-like from a royal clan. And they were carrying bows and arrows, but their dress was like hermits, a rishi and sage in the forest. So they were highly noticeable by anybody. Who are those two people dressed as hermits? They look like powerful Kshatriyas. This is the first comment everybody gives. And they were looking very brilliant also. So very attractive to look at in the forest. So they found out, Sugriva found out through his informants, that two people, very powerful looking, royal Kshatriyas they look like, but dressed in hermit clothes. They are wandering around looking for somebody. There is a chance it is Vali who has sent them and they're looking for me. So Sugriva became extremely afraid and worried. This is a beautiful story of friendship in terms of official terms, I should say. So they were looking for this. And so Sugriva came to know and he became very afraid. Vali has sent somebody in disguise, or it must be Vali himself, or what, like that. Because Vali was giving a very tough time to Sugriva. He banished him from the kingdom. Because Sugriva and Vali chased a demon. I think his name is Mayasura. And it was a very powerful demon, and the demon led him into a cave, and Sugriva told Vali, and Vali told Sugriva, you please wait out here, I will definitely come. Don't leave me. And he gave him very clear orders. But then Sugriva saw blood flowing out and screaming and shouting coming up, and he somehow concluded that Vali is dead, so he closed the cave and he went back. He became the king. Vali is dead. He became the king and started enjoying the kingdom. But one fine day, lo and behold, Vali came back and he said, you rascal, you did this to me. You tried to cheat me. You take over the kingdom. You closed the cave, tried to kill me. And then he gave him a beating like nothing and chased him out. And Sugriva ran all over with Vali chasing him. All over the world, all over the whole globe, he ran, trying to hide from Vali. Everywhere Vali came and, harassed him, beat him up. Vali's plan was not to kill him, but give him such a tough time. Because he's my brother after all, I don't want to kill him. That was his plan. So he gave a tough time to Sugriva. So Sugriva finally found out that in this place alone, Vali can never come because he has a curse. Matanga Rishi has cursed him. If you come here, you will die. So he was hiding here. So this was the background psychology of Sugriva. So Sugriva was very afraid that if it is Vali, again he will harass me, because Vali would beat him up, kick him. Every morning it seems Vali will go to chant his mantras and everything on the bank of the Ganges. He will fly and come and give a flying kick to Sugriva from the sky without touching the ground. And then go and do his morning duties, and then while coming back again, he will give him a kick. Somehow or the other, he'll find out where he is and give him a kick. So he was constantly ravaged by Vali. Every day he'll get a kick. Can you imagine how it will be? And he's very strong. My brother, he did, because he's very angry, you try to do this to me. But actually, that was not Sugriva's intention. He thought something and he... So, these things happen in this world. So this was the background of Sugriva. Was very afraid of Vali. And he couldn't live, he couldn't exist. He was just hiding and living there. All his kingship, everything lost. So Sugriva sent Hanuman. And he said, go in disguise as a Brahmana. Meet with these two people and find out who they are. I have every reason to think that it is Vali who has sent them. He's trying to trouble me again. I'm very concerned. I'm very disturbed. So go and you have intelligence, you have strength, you have everything. Please find out and tell me. So Hanuman is the minister come assistant of Sugriva. And Hanuman is highly intelligent, very strong, very, very strong, and highly qualified person. He cannot be just classified as a Vanara monkey alone. He's something very special. Plus, he's a devotee. He's a devotee. All these qualifications together, somehow in this Lila, he comes to assist Sugriva. There's another story behind that. If you have time, we'll recollect that. So, how he came to be the minister of Sugriva is also interesting. But we will discuss it a little later. So, Sugriva sent Hanuman, and Hanuman went like a Brahmana. But the Hanuman has got a necklace around him, given to him, which was told to him that he'll remain invisible. Nobody will be able to see it. But when that person, who is your Lord and Master, Ramachandra, comes in front of you, only you can see it. It can be seen only then. Then you will know who is that person, who is your Lord and Master. There was something like that. There was a condition. So Hanuman was dressed as a Brahmana, they could take any type of shape and form they wanted. Just as a Brahmana, and he went in front of Ramachandra and this thing, Lakshmana. And both of them saw that this is a nice Brahmana, and they were willing to respect him. But the amazing thing they noticed is this very costly necklace on his chest. So it was so odd that he was trying to take. And on his neck was a beautiful diamond necklace, shining like nothing. And it happened when Ramachandra came in front. At that time, Hanuman understood, this is the Lord of my heart. He understood that. And then they were both commenting, Lakshmana and Rama, oh, this Brahmana, but Brahmana, can you explain how you have this very costly necklace on your neck and you're coming to take Bhiksha? And then Hanuman knew that there's no need for me to pretend anymore to be a Brahmana. He took immediately his form as Hanuman and paid obeisance to Ramachandra and told that my history is this. I am the son of Vayu. I am like this, everything. I am your devotee. And I'm so happy to be able to see you. I don't want to hide anything from you. I may be the minister of Sugriva, and Sugriva has told me to be very, very careful. But I see I have no necessity to hide anything from you. And she told everything about Sugriva and his past and everything. And he said, Sugriva will be very happy to help you, and you can forge a friendship with Sugriva. In this way, Lakshmana and Rama were very pleased with the way Hanuman spoke. His great education could be seen. He seemed to be a person who knew the Shastra very well, very highly literate. And he had culture of the highest order. He was very cultured. And he approached Rama and Lakshmana with great reverence. He was very cultured. He was very learned, very well behaved. And all these things attracted Ramachandra and Lakshmana very much. And they said, we don't have to worry. He's a very cultured, very nice person, so we can put our faith in him. And he spoke about Sugriva, everything. So he will say that I will take you to Sugriva. And this is the first time he will say, you can sit on my shoulder. And both Rama and Lakshmana, he'll carry on his shoulder. He assumes his big form. He'll carry both on the shoulder, to carry on the shoulder, and they were both only up to his head, sitting like that. So you can imagine how big he must have been. And he leaped and climbed the mountains with both of them on his shoulder. And he was extremely happy to be able to take Ramachandra and Lakshmana on his shoulders. The Lord of my heart, I'm able to carry him on my shoulder. What greater opportunity is there? They both were very comfortably placed on Hanuman's shoulders on the back. And he moved on the hills and climbed and leaped and flew and everything. And boom, brought them to the hiding place of Sugriva. He had them get down. He said, I'll go ahead and make arrangements. You please come. And Sugriva appeared. They both welcomed each other. In fact, Hanuman had already made arrangement for forging their friendship. A yajna was started, fire. In front of the fire, there was sacrifice made, and both of them agreed to be friends. After each of them briefly describing, I need this help, you need this help. You need to find out Sita, which I can do very easily because I know the entire globe. Every nook and corner I know because I was hiding in every place from Bali. Where Ravana can possibly hide, I know. Can hide Sita, I know. And I can help you because I have a huge Vanara following. Thousands and thousands and thousands of Vanaras. So Ramachandra also said, I can help you with Vali. Actually, they both sat down and they discussed how to do this. And in discussion, they understood each other's position. And each other became very close. Rama and Sugriva's friendship was sought. Sometimes you may wonder, how is it possible that so easily you become friends? Because both of you, I need something from you, you need something from me, let's become friends. This is material friendship in the world, especially Kshatriya's friendship, uh, kingdom to kingdom, allies, and that type of friendship. But it was also quite personal because Ramachandra, as a supreme personality of Godhead, wanted to help out Sugriva, and that was his pastime. So he decided that it is mentioned that how did Lord Ramachandra decide that he should take the help of uh, Sugriva and not Vali? Although Vali was known to be far, far more stronger and more capable to get Sita than Sugriva. It's very interesting. Why did Ramachandra make a decision to go towards Sugriva and not Vali? Because later when he kills Vali, Vali will tell me, if it's Sita that you wanted, I would have got her like this for you. Why you killed me? I have nothing against you. You have nothing against me. Where is the reason for you to kill me? So it is mentioned that reasons why Rama decided to align with Sugriva and not with Vali. Very interesting. Friendship is forged. It's very important for us to work with friendship. Otherwise, this material world, especially in Kali Yuga, is filled with people who want to attack you for every small reason. That's why it's called Kali, Kalaha. Kalaha means dissension. Kalaha means quarrel. Constantly there is dissension and quarrel. Therefore, we have to be very, very mindful, careful, whom we put our friendship with. You see, Kaikeyi had friendship with Manthara. And Manthara was very wise, old, and been in the palace for many, many, many years, right from Kaikeyi's childhood. She knows Manthara. So Manthara's friendship, Manthara's good advice was always taken by Kaikeyi. Because you're my friend. But Manthara turned out to be the wrong friend for Kaikeyi at that point of time. Because she had some problem with Rama becoming the king, coronation. That is again something to do with the younger age, some little something. So Manthara's friendship costed Kaikeyi her son, her husband, and a lot of bad name. As soon as people think of now Kaikeyi, they think she's a witch like Kaikeyi. She's a political lady like Kaikeyi. She did this like Kaikeyi. You use it, the word Kaikeyi has become synonymous with witchy, maneuvering, manipulating women who do all sorts of things using their charms and etc. etc. Like in femme fatale, they call in Italian language or other languages, I think. Means that's enough. Femme fatale means this lady is so attractive and she is so this thing and she'll destroy you. Something like that. It becomes synonymous. So friendship matters very much. Whom we forge our friendships with. Accordingly, we can carry on in this world many things. And we need friends. We need friends. Devotees become very good friends with each other. They have great advantage of becoming friends. Unfortunately, Kali gets in between devotees also and can create dissension. Within a family, you can create dissension. What to speak of between friends? So it requires a certain caution to be observed. The moment we become materialistic in our estimate and in our dealings, Kali can enter inside that. That's why it says we should be very careful in our relationship of maintaining the right position and the right attitude and the right relationship. So even with somebody senior to even with Guru, Gurushu Naramati Vaishnave Jati Buddhi. If you look at the Guru as an ordinary human being, then you are in trouble. Vaishnave Jati Buddhi. If you look at the Vaishnava in terms of his Jati and this thing, if you say that he is a Naidu, he is a Gounder, he is a Reddy, he is a Malayali, he is a, Oriyan, he is a Bengali, and they are like this, like this. We characterize and mix it. Vaishnave Jati Buddhi. The type of Jati Buddhi, if you get immediately, you are falling into the hands of Maya and Kali. So we have to maintain our perspective correctly. We should not be, like yesterday we discussed about how Lakshmana had a perception about Bharata coming, and he got lost into it. And Rama came and strongly chastised him and corrected him. So we should be careful about what perceptions we have about devotees. Apart from everything else that we may do organizationally, we may manage, we may allocate things to people under us, and get instructions from people above us. During these relationships above and below, organizationally, socially, in Varnashrama orientation, in all these things, a devotee stands out because he's able to maintain his relationship by keeping Krishna in the center, and a Krishna-oriented relationship. When you have a relationship without Krishna, you're in for trouble. However nice that relationship may be materially, if you forget Krishna in your relationship, then the trouble starts. Here, Ramachandra forged a relationship with Sugriva, and Sugriva was very pleased to see a person like Ramachandra, such a bearing he had. He infused confidence in everybody just by standing next to them, just by being there itself. So many sages and rishis in the forest were saved by Ramachandra, and they were so confident of him. He means confidence for everybody, right? Abhayam sarva bhutebhyo dadami etam vratam mama. Fearlessness I will give you. If you say tava asmiti cha uchyate, see, kaschit eva prapanno, in full surrender, once tava asmiti cha uchyate, I am yours, Ramachandra. If you say abhayam sarva bhute, I'll grant you fearlessness. Dadami etam vratam mama. It is my vow that I will protect you. This is Ramachandra's speciality. His speciality and his great Kshatriya capability. Everybody knows about it because that first fight he had with Khara and Dushana, single-handedly, he routed that entire army. Thousands and thousands of soldiers, and Khara and Dushana and Trishita, all of them were finished. It was the shock waves he sent. One man did this. He was very powerful with his arrows. So everybody knew. So he gave protection. So Sugriva heard about his greatness, and he was very happy to be Ramachandra's friend. So they set about saying, okay, this is my friendship. And then Sugriva expressed himself fully to Ramachandra. So the reasons about why he chose Sugriva over Vali is very interesting. You see, Vali, he had very good weaknesses, very interesting weaknesses. He took away another's wife, Sugriva's wife. He was very lusty and was having affairs with her, Rama. And he was very arrogant and proud about his strength. Then he was cursed by Matanga Muni. That is a very bad thing. He had got the bad result from Matanga Muni instead of getting blessing. And he was a son of Indra. He was very, sort of autocratic, and Indra type of asana is there in him. Compared to this, Sugriva, he had been tortured by Vali so much that he had become very humble and surrendered. And he was very surrendered to Ramachandra. Because you see, when you face a lot of difficulties and problems, you become humbled. And he did not hide anything, he had no duplicity in front of Ramachandra. He opened his heart and told everything to Ramachandra. And the best part to us, Hanuman a devotee of Ramachandra, was his closest minister and assistant. And not only that, he is the son of Surya, Sugriva. And Lord Ramachandra comes in the Surya Vamsa. All these put together are subtle good reasons why Lord Ramachandra took the side of Sugriva. Right? Because people have these questions inside, they're very subtle. Only the Bhagavatam and people who know devotional life to some extent can give this understanding. Because Ramachandra and Sugriva will agree, and then Vali will tell him, Sugriva will tell him that I need to kill Vali. Then only I can be peaceful. Right? I need to get back my kingdom, my wife, and everything like that. So Ramachandra will say, so okay, if that is what you want in return, I am ready to do that. But then Sugriva was also doubtful. Although I'm your good friend and everything, I have a little doubt. I think you don't know who Vali is. You don't know how strong Vali is. He had a doubt. And what is your power? How much can you do? I am not really very sure. So he sat down and spoke to Ramachandra. And he said that, I know you're powerful, but do you know how powerful Vali is? And he explained about Vali to him. Still Ramachandra just smiled. And he agreed to show him. And it was a demonstration for him to see that Lord Ramachandra shot his arrow through sal trees, 7 of them. It went through 7 trees, big, broad trees. The arrow was so powerful, went through the side, touched the ground, and came back and put the arrow came back and put itself inside the quiver of Ramachandra. It just all happened in no time. And that was very impressive. Even then, actually, Sugriva was not very happy. So sometimes we have friendships, but that doesn't mean we should assume that somebody is capable of doing something. Sometimes because we are friends, people think, okay, you make me so-and-so. You give me this type of service. Yes, it's very good to be friendly. And if I have a friend in a very important position, it's very nice. But do you have the capability? It's very important that we should not confuse friendship with capability organizationally. That is in technical terms called nepotism, favoritism, and everything. If we put my good friend, but he's useless, he has got no capability, put him in a position which is very important. And because I am friends with you, I enjoy that position. All very nice. But then when we start messing around and spoiling in your management, in your organization understanding, then comes the real problem. And then if you are asked to answer and remove, your friendship gets broken. Then you fight with that same friend. Because of getting that role and position through friendship, and because of you being incapable of doing that, when you mess up, your friendship becomes endangered. And so also your position. And then all sorts of politics and everything happen, and that person with whom you had a good friendship, for no reason, becomes your biggest enemy because he's got authority. So one may be a good friend, but we should never make the mistake of putting the friend in a position of power within any organization system that we have and expecting that he will meet the necessary requirements. Sometimes I may be a good friend, but it's very difficult for me to actually perform. So some friends understand, no, that I should not do. I lose my relationship with you. I'm not good at that. No, it's okay. You come. No, I should not do it. Some wise people make good decision. I don't want to occupy that position. I have already a position of relationship with you. So I don't want to occupy this organizational position because our friendship can get spoiled. So sometimes mutually we understand that, yeah, it's better. I want to keep my relationship with you very nice without any of these managerial, organizational, social things inside. Similarly, you will see in a house also, in a family business, you will see the brothers fight, the father and the son fight. It's all because of positions of leadership and organization, and your relationship gets spoiled. So Sugriva wanted to make sure that I am asking you to do something. Do you have the capability to do it? I am a little doubtful. So Ramachandra showed, and then Hanuman also told him, don't worry, this is going to be very paka. And then it so happened that he said, okay, go fight, call for Vali, go to his palace, call for Vali, I'll shoot. So Ramachandra and Lakshmana stood on the backside with arrows and everything in the bushes. And Sugriva went and yelled, and Vali came out and said, rascal, my brother has come again. He wants to get another beating. And he came and there was a fight. But the problem for Ramachandra was both Vali and Sugriva were looking so much alike that he thought, I'll make a mistake and shoot Sugriva instead. So he didn't pick up his arms. It was tried several times and he couldn't make out, and then he left it. But in the meantime, Sugriva was getting beaten like nothing. At the end of it, he knew that, my gosh, nobody is going to shoot Vali, and he ran for his life. He went back running to Rishimuka, his place. And, when Ramachandra came there, he said that you could have told me that you don't want to kill Vali, and I would have understood, but I was almost dead. And the beating I took, why did you not tell me very clearly, frankly, what you wanted? This is an instance of, perception of Sugriva, saying that you intentionally don't want to do it. But Ramachandra is saying, no, I want to do it intentionally, but I'm not able to do it because there is a material requirement there. How I will differentiate you from him? I was afraid that I'll kill you. Then everything is lost for me also, for you also. So I didn't want to take that risk. So hearing that, he got a creeper garland around his thing. And he was encouraged by Ramachandra, don't worry, go, I'll finish him this time. So this time they went, and again Vali came, and actually when Vali was going, his wife Tara stopped him and said, don't go. I feel that why should he come here again immediately after you have given him this beating? I think he has got the help of somebody. I heard that he has got the help of Rama and Lakshmana, two powerful warriors, sons of Dasharatha. They are around, and I think they have forged a relationship with Sugriva. I don't think you should go. It's bad omen. But Vali said, somebody challenges me to fight, I have to go. There'll be nothing wrong, don't worry. And he left anyway. And he fought with Sugriva. And then Rama killed Vali with one deadly arrow, piercing in his chest. He fell down dead. And then Rama and Lakshmana walked up next to the dead, almost dying Vali. And that time Vali is known to have told Ramachandra, you are a man of reputation. You are a wonderful Dasharatha's son. And you have qualities. Why did you do this low-class thing of killing me from my backside? If you wanted to fight with me, I would have fought with you. If you wanted me to get Sita for you, I would have got Sita for you in no time. I know every place. I know what to do with Ravana. I would have done anything for you, but I don't see any reason why you should kill me. And then he accused Ramachandra of being unfair, against the Shastra, against military and Kshatriya rules. Everything he accused. And Ramachandra came and said, my dear monkey, king, I want to tell you why I shot you and why I have the right to shoot you. First of all, you have no business taking another person's wife and putting you into so much trouble and torture. You are so lusty. That is breaking of moral, ethical law. God's law is broken there. Number two, my brother is Bharata. He is the king of this whole place. And anybody who does wrong, it is his duty to punish. You repeatedly tortured Sugriva and took away his wife. and also did all sorts of things, insulting him so much. He pleaded and said it was not his intention, but he never listened. This crime you committed. For that reason, representing Bharata, who is the king, I shot you down. You deserve it. Very powerful words Ramachandra spoke to Vali. And here comes Vali's heroism. He agreed with Ramachandra. He said that, yes, you're right. I am very low. I have done wrong. Please pardon me. I beg of you. I'm not interested in anything anymore. And he said, all I want is just my son Angad should be looked after. He is to be treated like a prince. Sugriva, we could have sorted out all these things and lived as good brothers, but somehow we were not able to do it. I hand over this necklace that Indra gave to me for your protection. You become the king. You rule. Just take care of this thing and look after my wife Tara. She's a very wise lady and you can take her advice. In this way, Vali completely changed at the point of death. He was shot by Rama's arrow. He surrendered to Rama. He completely changed and he got the mercy of Ramachandra. Ramachandra immediately replied to him, Vali, you will get a perfect destination. I'll look after the kingdom through Sugriva. Your son Angad will be looked after very well. Everybody, all of your subjects will be looked after. I promise you this. You don't have to worry about anything. You can peacefully forget all these things and die peacefully. Ramachandra actually gave him shelter, gave Vali shelter. In this way, with Sugriva, he gave service. With Vali, he liberated him by shooting him. You see, killed by the Lord. Even Marichi, when he was told by Ravana, either you do what I tell you to do, become a golden deer and attract this thing, or I will kill you. So it seems Marichi discussed inside and said that better than dying by Ravana. Either way I will die. I'll get shot by Rama and die, or I'll get killed by Ravana and die. So he decided better than dying by Ravana, better for me to die by Rama. And that is why he became a deer. And he was shot by Rama and killed. He called out Rama's name. Called out Rama's name, Lakshmana's name, Sita's name, and passed away. He thought it is better to do that. So the friendship of Vali and the friendship of Sugriva and Ramachandra and the brotherly relationship of Vali and Sugriva all came in focus. Sugriva felt that, why did I do this? I am the reason for killing my brother. Why did I want to kill my brother and take over his kingdom? I don't feel like. And he started repenting very much. And then Ramachandra came and gave him consolence, consoled him, and gradually he was crowned king. And then the amazing thing the Ramayana tells us is Sugriva became completely absorbed in his kingly position. Throughout the Chaturmasya, it was raining. Anyway, nothing much could be done. So he was totally lost in drinking and enjoying with women and really enjoying. Long time he has not been able to do what he's supposed to be doing as a monkey. And he enjoyed all that. Because of that, many things happened. And Ramachandra became furious. Lakshmana became furious. And Lakshmana was sent by Ramachandra. And Ramachandra, this rainy season was ending. And Lakshmana said, what's happening? You're going to do something or not? And then slowly, Sugriva woke up. And then the army was assembled. And then Hanuman was sent to south. And Hanuman found out where Sita is. The rest of the story we will hear in Hanuman's pastimes. So, friendship with Sugriva is something very interesting and important that we can learn. We should have friends to whom we can talk without any judgment, without any scare and fear. Organizationally, this will happen, that will happen, etc. we can open our heart and talk. That type of friendships, if we have in the Krishna consciousness movement, I think we can go a long way. I think amongst leaders also there is no collegiality. And amongst devotees who are especially more involved in management, there is a great challenge of relationships. So friendship is an important item, important aspect. We should all have friends, even if they are not organizationally involved, to whom we can talk without any judgmental tone. And we can take a good counsel. This is very important. Otherwise, you become very lonely in the Krishna consciousness movement. Of course, you may do your sadhana very well. Of course, you may be a good preacher. Of course, you may be everything. But if we don't have that friendship side of ours catered to, then we can feel pretty much empty and lonely. Sugriva was feeling like that, very lonely and lost. But Ramachandra came into his life and there was great hope. When Bali died and he became the king, things changed so much for him completely. By friendship, so many things can be changed. At the same time, by friendship, so many things can be ruined. Like for Kaikai, what happened, right? So, forging good friendships and out of that great relationships and using that very nicely to further yourself in Krishna consciousness and remaining loyal to the friendship, being confidential, being trustworthy, all that is very important because that will help us to get a lot of strength from friendship, advice, counsel, non-judgmental counsel, and all these things very wonderfully. Because friend means there's no stake in the matter. I can say anything I want and I can get perfectly safe response. I will never be judged. I will be accepted as I am. Just like I accept the other person also as he is. So Ramachandra's friendship with Sugriva is very wonderful because Ramachandra had various relationships. He had devotee relationship with so many of the Vanaras, especially Hanuman. Vibhishana from the demon side became his devotee. And Ramachandra had this relationship with Sugriva. And he killed Vali. And with Vali also he had a relationship like this. Like this, with many, many different people, we need to have suitable relationships and we should proceed in our Krishna consciousness properly. It's not that there are no challenges. Ramachandra has a great challenge. He has lost his wife. Some demon has stolen his wife. What a lot of anxiety. But in spite of that, he forges a relationship and goes step by step, waits patiently. Lord Ramachandra's patience is very, very amazing. It's very amazing. His patience, waiting for Sita for a whole year, and then his patience with the Lord of the Ocean. 3 days he just took tapasya and waited for him to come, and he did not come, and then he got angry. And then the ocean surrendered. So, patience, friendship, giving, offering, protecting, all these things are part of our life. And it's not that we shine in one thing alone. A well-balanced human being has all these things. And from Ramachandra's character, we can learn all these things very much. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Any question or comment?